Yes, that's right, Foggy Nelson, the one and only, despite his death in the first episode of Daredevil Born Again, is alive. And believe it or not, in that opening sequence of Born Again, the evidence is right there staring us in the face, almost like Kevin Feige is pointing at us and laughing. But once you look at it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get to that. While everybody continues to speculate on the fate of Foggy Nelson and how exactly he's going to be returning in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, because obviously his fate is he's dead, maybe that's not the complete story. So, what we have here is, of course, a theory that I think has a substantial amount of evidence behind it. So, let's get into what happened. So, in the opening episode of Daredevil Born Again, we actually start off a year before the series takes place, largely, because it's a flashback to the night that Foggy Nelson died at the hands of Bullseye, aka Benjamin Poindexter. And we see Foggy's death play out right there. It's pretty crystal clear that he dies. Now, the devil, haha, is in the details. So in the comics, believe it or not, Foggy Nelson has died before. One time, Matt Murdock actually had to save his soul from hell. Yeah, that's a whole thing. And another, he went into witness protection after his death. Now, this is what we're working with here. I'm assuming they're not going to bring Mephisto or the devil into this series unless they really want to piss off more of the fan base than they already have. So let's talk about what's going on and the evidence. So during the opening, when we see the Nelson, Murdock, and Page sign that's hanging on the side of the building, it is right next to the number 468. Now, what's interesting here is that this would be Daredevil issue number 88. Now, for those confused, how does 468 translate to 88? It's because of the constant reboots and number ones we get, but there's still a legacy numbering system that's used across the board with all these comics, despite reboots, right? That's why you'll see like a Superman 1000, even though Superman at one point stopped and then had a bunch of number ones. They just kind of shove it back in, right? Well, this actually equates to this whole theory and the evidence. So 468 is a different volume, and it points to the 88th comic. Now, what's interesting here is that this story in the comics is The Secret Life of Foggy Nelson. In it, it is revealed that Foggy, who was stabbed and seemingly killed while visiting Matt in prison, is still alive and in witness protection. On the operating table, he was offered refuge from those attempting to kill him, which he reluctantly accepted before being hidden from his best friend. Foggy eventually escaped and was reunited with Matt. With that in mind, it's possible that the FBI stepped in and protected Foggy from whoever sent Bullseye after him and his client, assuming that the assassin was hired by someone who I would speculate is maybe Wilson Fisk in secret, or if it's not him, possibly Vanessa, trying to get revenge. Now, this is the only thing that I can think of that makes sense, because what's the point of doing more flashbacks to the heyday before Daredevil Born Again takes off, you know? Like, that to me just doesn't make sense. You want the series to progress forward. You don't want it to step backwards and constantly keep going to the past. So I really do think that this is how they're going to play it, and that this is going to be one of those big revelations that digs things deeper into the whole crime underground underbelly of New York, and we really start to see many more moving pieces. And it wouldn't even surprise me if Foggy was somehow in contact with somebody that's, not really in this world just yet, like one of the characters from another Marvel series. Who knows? Maybe this is what they're hyping up or teasing with She-Hulk. What if it was Jen who helped him, Like, we don't have a full picture here. So it could be really interesting, and I definitely think this is how they're going to play it. So I think this is how Foggy is going to be alive in Season 2. It's the only thing that honestly makes sense. thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.